Ugh. We got a lot of vintage cards to go through. These are 2 deck boxes full of vintage holographics that I found either in binders or literally in Walmart bags chucked into cardboard boxes somewhere in my house. So these are the cards that I had when I was a kid. Those are gonna be the focal point of today's video. The very first card we're gonna take a look at is a first edition Muck. Now this, don't get your hopes up, is the only first edition holographic card that I could find in my childhood set. But having any first edition holographics from back then is just more than you could ask for. But yeah, first edition Muck, he is a grimy boy. So we move on to the next one. Yes, okay, so this is the Dragonite Promo for Kids WB. There's just a neat little shiny stamp. Kids WB presents Pokemon the first movie. Yes, I can read. That's what that says. At this point, I have all the promos that go with this. There were 3 others, but this was the only one in the childhood collection. And then we get to this. You might notice the back. This is a Japanese card. The only holographic Japanese card I had, and it's a Poliwrath. Again, not the most exciting holographic, but to just have stumbled across this in the childhood collection, you know, you can't complain. Next up, we're just tearing through these. We got... So this is also not holographic. This is a Mew promo from back in the day. So I don't really remember where you got this as a promo back in the day, but I will say one of the cool things about this card is that in Japan, it was actually part of the Fossil set. This was a holographic that you could pull straight out of a Fossil pack from the Japanese set, but they took it out when they brought it over to English. There are still holo versions of this English Mew promo, but when it comes to the childhood collection, this is all we had. So we then move on to... Yes! My Jungle Set Flareon. This is my favorite evolution. Not one of my favorite Pokemon, but one of my favorite cards. The colors just work so well. And honestly, I kept my cards in pretty solid condition. These are all really well kept. They're not that beat up. There's no real creases. There's no major spots of whitening. These are in really good condition, so I'm probably gonna get some of these graded at some point. Next up, Blastoise, yes! So this is one of the big boys. This is one of the big boys. We got a base set 2 Blastoise holographic, and I just really love base set 2. It's probably my favorite Pokemon set, period. This is one of the best pulls that you can get from that set. This is the second best pull you can get from the set. Pretty good condition, no major whitening. Can't really go wrong with a Blastoise, except for that time I took a Blastoise toy, smashed my Game Boy with it, and broke it forever. The screen is just completely destroyed. Anyway, that's a story for another time. Look at this Gengar! This is one of the best ones! This is one of the best ones. So this is a Gengar holographic from the Expedition base set from 2002. So we've gotten into some like Gen 2 era sets right here. Now, some of you might be wondering why this particular card looks so different compared to the other ones. Why does this one have an E in the bottom corner? Why are the edges so much bigger? Why does it have all these? What's the deal with this card? So if you don't know, around 2002, Pokemon entered what is now referred to as the E series, where they started making Pokemon cards compatible with this Game Boy Advance accessory called the E-Reader. You plugged it into the cartridge slot of your Game Boy Advance, you could scan e-reader cards and it would unlock like an old arcade game. No one bought it except me. I had one, I loved mine, and they started making Pokemon cards compatible with the thing, so you could swipe it like a credit card. So this particular era left more room on the left and bottom of the card to put the scan code thing? I don't really know what you call it. And you could scan that into your e-reader and unlock like Pokemon stats or something like that. I don't know, it was an interesting time. This card is pretty rare, pretty valuable, and I found it in my attic loose inside of a tin, and it's not that bad. Like, if I got this graded, it would maybe be like a 6 or something, 6 or a 7, but for just sitting in a tin for like 20 years, this is a really well-kept card. And then you're probably gonna know what this one is before I even show it to you. This one's also pack fresh. I'll get to that in a minute because this is an Ancient Mew promo. No other card looks like this. It kind of looks like a fake card, like you'd peel it off like a sticker. But I found like 3 of these in my childhood collection. One of them was open and the other 2 were sealed. So this one is one that I decided to open, which is why it says pack fresh on the back. The other 2 went to other members of my family, but this is the one I got to keep. And the problem is that there is a card that comes in the pack that covers up the front that says, like, it's the Ancient Mew. Look at the cool promo. You're covering up the card that I want to keep sealed, but now I have to open it if I want to see the dang card. So we have reached the last card of the first box. We are halfway through, and this is the absolute cream of the crop when it comes to the cards for my... Ow! This is the absolute best card in my childhood set, I am pretty sure. Oh my god, look at that foil. This is a Venusaur 13 promo from the Wizards of the Coast era. Back when I was going through my attic to try and find all my old childhood Pokemon cards, I found one box that when I opened it up, just had a loose Walmart bag in it. Just an old cardboard box with a Walmart bag tossed inside, and I opened it, and there was just like dozens of vintage Pokemon cards. No sleeves, no top loaders, no protection of any kind, just loose in a bag in a box in the attic. Several cards that you've seen throughout this video are probably from that bag, but this was the best find. I think this was like a Nintendo Power promo or something, but it's one of the most valuable cards that I've gotten in this video. And I'm surprised at how well it's been kept for being, you know, in a bag in a box in the attic for 20 years. So that is box number 1. Empty box. Let's move on to the next one. Wait, we gotta get a more satisfying slam. There we go. Let's open this one up. So first up from the second box, we have... Alright, so this is a Kingdra from Neo Genesis. We're getting into some Gen 2 sets here, and unfortunately, this and one other card that I have, the only 2 Neo Genesis holos I found, are actually probably in the worst condition. I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, but these have some actual like wear and tear on them, unfortunately. But Neo Genesis is a set that I'm just fascinated with. Gen 2, totally overlooked it when I was a kid, really. Think I know what's up next. Yes, the Jumpluff. We got a Jumpluff holographic, also from Neo Genesis. Also a little bit banged up compared to the other cards. Just Gen 2 Pokemon were some of the best looking ones. Fight me! Don't fight me, I am weak. Pokemon. Ninetales. Okay, here we go. We're getting into the base set stuff now. This is the oldest of the old cards. So this is a base set, unlimited Ninetales holographic. Not the worst condition of anything that I've seen in my life. Not the worst holographic of anything I've seen in my life. Ninetales is always like the biggest troll of base set cards because when you're opening a pack and you see that red, you always think it's a Charizard. So you get hyped just to get a Ninetales, and then people are like, oh, okay, it's Ninetales. It's like, no, Ninetales is cool. Don't be mean. Next up, let's get a more satisfying turn on that. You saw what it was, but let's get a more satisfying turn on that. Boom. Alakazam from base set 2. We got another base set 2 holographic here. Alakazam, I think, is the 4th best card you can pull from that set. And this was what got me really fascinated with base set 2, was I had this card and the... Oh my god, I'm dropping everything. I had this card and the Blastoise. And I was like, well, I've already got half of the best cards in the set. Maybe I should start, like, collecting the other ones. And that's when I really got caught in the web of Pokemon. The only cards in the set that are up there with these guys are the Venusaur and the Charizard, so it was really cool to find 2 of the best cards in what eventually became my favorite Pokemon set of all time in my house, in the attic, just randomly sitting around. Oh, and I probably should say, while some of these cards, like this Venusaur, were found just loose in a Walmart bag, a lot of them, like I'm pretty sure this Alakazam, it was in a binder. Like, I did keep good care of a lot of these cards. I don't know why I decided to put like 8 holographics in a bag in a box, but for some reason my binder was full of like 10,000 commons. I promise I took good care of my cards for the most part. You know what? Actually, I blame my parents. I blame my parents for how that turned out because I was a small baby. When in doubt, blame your parents. Brock's Rhydon. Now this one, I don't know too much about. This is from the Gym Heroes set, but that's kind of one of the sets I had the least of back in the day. So this is kind of an outlier in the set, a Gym Heroes holographic. There's plenty of Gym Heroes like commons and uncommons, but this is, I'm pretty sure, the only holographic I had. In fact, now that I think about it, there's probably a really strong chance I never actually opened any Gym Heroes packs, and cards like this probably just came from a theme deck we bought. Brock's Rhydon. Cool card. The holographic isn't really showing up for some reason. It died. Go away. Next up, Hitmonchan. So we're back into the base set stuff. What the is this? I farted. What is this Pokemon? What is this Pokemon? You got shoulder blades, you got boxing gloves, and his hair. What is this Pokemon supposed to be? But anyway, always good to find a base set holographic. There's a print line in this one right there, so no PSA 10 or anything like that, but the centering's not too bad, and the back didn't look too awful either. Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee were always like a couple of favorites of mine back in the day. They were so unique compared to everything else in the Pokemon, which is like dog and bird. We only got 3 more. We only got 3 more, and then we're all going to go away. Clefairy, and I'll save you the trouble. The next one is also a Clefairy. But if you'll notice, this one looks like piss. I don't know how, but this one got really yellowed and faded over the years, but this one did not. They're both base set, they're both in solid condition, but this one looks like piss. So that makes me uncomfortable. I'm gonna move on to the very last card. Kangaskhan. So this is a jungle holographic. It's one of the cooler jungle holographics in my opinion, because while it might not be the most rare, look at this little guy. Look at this little guy. Look at this little guy, he's celebrating. And it took me forever to notice that detail about this card. I love this card specifically because of that guy. So with that, that's all of my childhood Pokemon cards. If you wanted to ask me the best cards in the collection, I would probably put the Blastoise from base set 2, the Venusaur promo, absolutely the Gengar. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. These are the top 3 cards in my childhood collection. And I think if I were to name a favorite, it's this one. This one is probably my favorite out of all of them because it's just so different. Venusaur might be the best in terms of rarity, but this one is just too cool for having found it in a random tin. I could have easily overlooked this card and never seen it again, but now I have it. He is protected, and he is my child, and he's also a ghost. My kid is dead. Also, here's kind of a bonus. I didn't have full control over what happened to my childhood collection. Other members of my family got to like take some and do with them what they will. And what I lost out on was the best holographic we had, which was a first edition Dark Dragonite from the Team Rocket set. And I have been so upset about missing out on that card for the last like 8 months of my life that I finally bit the bullet and I went out and got one of my own. I got this from a card website in near mint condition, which is pretty comparable to what my childhood one was. So this is not the one from my childhood collection, but it is a replacement. In my heart, it is the one from my childhood collection because I never stood a chance of getting to keep that one anyway. But I want to bring things back to this last card I showed off, the Kangaskhan. This is a card from the Jungle set, the first ever expansion to the Pokemon TCG in 1999. If you want to watch me open a real-life sealed pack of jungle cards from 1999, you can click on the video on screen to go to my vintage card opening that also went up today. It's part of the 4 videos that I've uploaded as part of the launch of this channel. The other 2 are opening the 25th anniversary celebration set, which is full of awesome vintage reprint cards, and of all things, opening a booster box of Steven Universe trading cards. So if any of that sounds cool to you, you can either click the video link on the screen or go straight to the channel where you can see all 4 videos that I've uploaded today as part of the Foafy launch lineup.